everybody. So that's our scheduled call for today. We have amazing guest on our webinar, guys. He's gonna share a lot of cool things, and I'm gonna ask him some awesome, amazing questions. So, guys, please be tuned. We also have a Restream app, which helps us to see all your questions and comments, guys. You have. Don't be shy to ask. We're gonna wait for maybe another minute. I'm gonna do introduction of Jake, and also, guys, we're gonna wait until people join our live session. So it's a live. It means, guys, you can ask any questions at any time. And if you want to have like some specific help, please let me know, and we're gonna try to answer. Our live is going to be for today for about 25-30 minutes, guys. We're gonna discuss some cool topics that will help you with your Amazon business and how to increase your profits and do other stuff that will improve your business and your cash flow and the revenue. Okay, guys, today we have a special guest, my friend that was visiting my previous event on Rise. I thought this guy is just brilliant, you know, he's just so smart. He gave me so many cool advices, and that's why today we have him on the call. And guys, please welcome Jake. Jake, please, few words about yourself and what you do.
Thanks so much for having me. Great to be streaming here live from the ASAP warehouse in Fort Lauderdale. So thanks for having me here in person, even on different screens. So I work with Fortunet. We help Amazon and e-commerce sellers through the exit process, everything from strategy through to, you know, holding their hand to closing and getting paid. So that's really what we're all about, is how do you get the best deal when you're selling your business? And I'm sure we'll get more into that today.
Jake, that's an awesome information. But at the same time, look, me as an Amazon seller, I sell on Amazon for the last 8 years, you know, maybe already 9. Time flies completely. And back in the days, there was no such thing like selling or offering services like yours. There were things like this, but for the last 3 years, we see like incredible growth of such a market. And right now, like almost everybody tried to sell, buy, or it just feels in the air. So tell me a bit more about your company, you know, like how you guys started, what's the size of your company, like how many people in it, you know, like what makes you different on the market?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it is really crazy, like how the space has developed. So I've been with Fortunet since February. I got started with Amazon M&A in more than 2 years ago in 2019. I was with one of the first aggregators, did like 15 acquisitions on the buy side. So I've seen how, you know, from an M&A perspective, how this whole buying of businesses has developed, and it really is crazy right now. So, you know, I think I bring this kind of unique perspective where I was on the buy side. I was looking at tons of deals, working for the buyer, trying to get them the best deal. And now I've switched over to Fortunet to use those powers for the sellers. So a little bit about Fortunet. We've been around since 2018. We have a team of 40 plus, everything from traditional investment bankers to Amazon sellers and experts to finance people, analysts, etc. So we've been around since 2018. We've done something like 60 plus sales of businesses since then. We have another 60 or so that are under engagement going through the process. You know, I think what makes us different is we have taken the kind of traditional corporate investment banking and selling of a business process, a process that's been proven and used for decades with, you know, largest of businesses. And we've taken that and brought it into the Amazon M&A space. I can tell you when I first got started buying businesses, you know, looking at some of the options in terms of brokers and others in the space, it was fairly basic service, right? They would just take your business, they take your P&L as you provide it, they'd blast it out to their email list, and they would just try to close the deal quickly. Fortunet, what we do is it's more consultative, understanding your business, trying to figure out when's the best time to sell, what are some things you can do before you sell in order to increase the valuation. And we're really on the side of the seller. We exclusively represent sellers. We fight super hard for their interests and to get them the best deal. So we're not a middleman. It's more of a seller agent or consultant to walk them through. But we've got a super professional team, a lot of expertise across all the areas you need, you know, legal, accounting, negotiation, et cetera. to make sure that folks, go through the process with the best valuation they can get at the end. You can only sell your business one time, so you need to get the best deal. And also to help, sellers kind of emotionally go through the process, because it can be very complicated. It can be very stressful. And I think having somebody on your side who's been down that road before not only helps you get the best deal, but helps you, manage it all without too much stress.
Jake, that's awesome. Let me ask you like a couple practical questions that I potentially I don't know, like I know you comes from the professional background, and you guys you have like 40 people. Things is organized. I've seen how you guys works and all your reports and how you prepare sellers to exit on the market. It's really like high level job and professional job. But without any this kind of promotions, I can tell you, like from my experience, when I see a lot of sellers and I do a lot of consulting and go to different events, there's a lot of sellers who far away from even completing their own P&L, which is profit and loss statement. This is the basic things that people can do on their financial side. So when I say they don't have a P&L, you understand they're not really familiar with their finance situation. Sometimes they not even clearly understand how much money they make. They can differently see how much revenue they do, but what comes down to the profits and opportunities and wherever you say, the question is like, do you help people to even understand this process? What type of seller guys you acquire to help? Do you really help like anybody, or you have some certain rules to be onboarded to the company?
Yeah, sure. Good question there. So in terms of the types of companies we work with, we consider it like the medium to large Amazon sellers, typically folks doing at least $1 million annual sales across all platforms, but with an emphasis on Amazon. So that's the main thing. Private label, of course, growing businesses with good margins, businesses with opportunity, businesses with a story to tell to the buyer about how exciting it's going to be. So that's kind of the high level what we work with. We don't require any P&L when we start working with somebody. We do have a lot of accountants and financial analysts on our team. Our COO Omri, he's a former seller, also a CPA by training, who exited his business through Fortunet and then joined as our chief operations officer. So we have all those skills. We have people that come to us with zero P&L or accounting. We do a full rebuild on our side. That's super helpful when you go into a sale process, because if people are making offers based on a certain profit number, you need to make sure it's 100% accurate, or you're just giving the buyer an opportunity to go in and renegotiate the price once they get into diligence. At the same time, I think that same thing is super helpful for sellers to understand their business and help them to grow it, even not considering a sale. Where are you making money? Where are you losing money? Which ASINs are doing well? Some ASINs might be, negative or break even, and you want to drop those, to free up working capital. So, in terms of being prepared financially for a sale, we don't need somebody to have accounting, but we'll help them through that. We'll also work with their CPA if they have one. But I think that's stuff that's really helpful for a sale and just for managing your own business.
Here's my also I know some things that I'm gonna say right now, they not as my kind of opinion, but they just wanna, because there's a lot of people who will watch this live video. And also I have to add you, because Europe right now, a majority of the places changed already time zone, and the software that we used to stream, the software was scheduled for 4 p.m. but now it's only 3 p.m. in the USA. So majority of the people, they're gonna rewatch us in the recording. So that's why I'm gonna ask some questions that will help us to help these guys to understand more properly what you guys do in a simple way, and also those who have a bigger accounts and teams and opportunities to exit, they also can understand the real value in working with your company, in terms of structure, legal part, all this process. So let's assume I'm a greedy person, so, and I don't want to pay money to anyone, I save money on everything, on logistics, on PPC management, you name it. Like there's a bunch of Amazon sellers who don't want to spend a dime. So, and when it gets to exit the company, it's a big chunk of money. Like it's something that you was built for a year, 2 or 3 years, based on your experience, or maybe even more. And when you're trying to exit a business, how much the average percentage brokers charge on the market for you to help?
Yeah, we charge between 5 and 10%. I think most professional brokers are charging similar amounts.
Yeah, like I remember, like Website Closer, they used to charge like 15% even, and you have to negotiate down, based, like on your skills, and sometimes it didn't work out that way, So anyway, I'm not against the Website Closers. I'm just give like one simple example of what I've seen on the market in the past 3 years. Maybe they've already been adjusted, and maybe they did some changes, but I know. So let's say it's a 10%, like, and I know it's based on a structure and the deal and complexity that people bring into the market. Let's say I sell business for $1 million, so it costs $100,000, correct? Yeah. So my question is the biggest question. If I'm gonna invite you to help me, is it really gonna help me to increase my business by 10% at the exit? Or is there anything else that I have to consider when I'm thinking about exit and percentages that I have to pay to the company like yours, to Fortunet?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a really good question. Of course, it's a lot of money. In 10% of $1 million. We have a lot of deals. Our average deal size is probably around 8 to 10 million. We understand that it's a lot of money, and it's not like a super simple decision that you just make in 1 hour or 1 day. I think the kind of like simplest way to maybe analogy to use is, if you're in a lawsuit, are you going to go into court as your own lawyer, or are you going to hire a lawyer? The same as if you go to have surgery, are you going to get a doctor who has done this procedure 1,000 times and you're 100% sure he's not going to screw it up? I think it's similar when you look at selling your business. So, selling your business is not a simple process. It takes months. Even if a lot of the buyers say 30 days, that's not really true. If it happens in less than 30 days, that means you're probably not getting a great deal because they can just rush through it. So, I would say at a high level, I look at it as in a similar way as, going to court without a lawyer. We have a team of 40 plus combined decades of experience. We have people on our team who have worked on, IPOs, very large acquisitions, deals that are bigger. The smallest deals that some of our team has worked on are bigger than any of the deals in the Amazon space. So we bring together all of the expertise. We can anticipate buyers' moves to make sure that, the interests of the seller are protected. As a former buyer, I can tell you that all of the buyers that are operating, they have large teams for their M&A. They have people that are Harvard, Columbia, MBAs. These are people that all they do is try to get a good deal when buying your business. So unless you've sold dozens of businesses before, I think it's going to be hard to replicate that kind of experience. I'd say more practically, there's 3 things that we focus on when we bring a business to market that we really see help to push the value. The first thing is a really comprehensive P&L and financial analysis. You have your actual numbers, but then you also have other things that we call adjustments or add backs, which can really add a lot of value to the bottom line. Quick example, a lot of people use air freight because they're running out of stock. That's actually a healthy, part of the business. It shows that the business is growing. But air freight's much more expensive than sea freight. So what we'll often do is we'll calculate the difference between air freight and sea freight, and then we'll add that difference back to the P&L. And then when you go to exit, every dollar of additional profit could be $4, $5, $7 of valuation. So that can make a huge difference. So that's just one example. We have dozens of other situations like that where we'll negotiate higher profits than what the actual profit is. So that's on the financial analysis side. Second thing we do is creating a business narrative. This takes the form usually of like a 40-page business presentation. What's the brand? What are the products? What's the competition? What's the opportunity? The numbers only tell part of the story. You need to have a really concise narrative of the business to just help buyers immediately understand what's the opportunity. And then the third part, which I think is the most important, most maybe complicated of all, is what we call our auction-like process. We typically approach 150 buyers just for an ordinary Amazon business. We have to conduct an auction in a very orchestrated way, in a way where the buyers have no idea who is participating, who is bidding what. But, buyers really want it. When they like a deal, they're going to push you to close as soon as they can. They do that to prevent other buyers from bidding up the price. So we have to have a really super orchestrated process where we get hundreds of buyers fighting over each other for the deal. And that's really when you see the biggest jumps in prices. So, we have buyers in our network that aren't public that help push up the prices. And I think that's really key. If you approach 5 or 10 or even 20 buyers yourself, you're not going to see that same level of competition, those sharks feeding over each other for your deal. And that's what you want. That's how you go from a 3 or 4x to a 5, 6, 7x when you're looking to exit.
Listen, Jake, I have a friend, who I know I referred him to you, and he called me back and he told me, Dima, this guy is just absolutely fantastic. They helped me almost to get increase on my offer close to $1 million. And like, oh my God, how? It's just a lot of money, it's not like that simple. He said, yeah, I didn't know about this and that. And there was lots of things, guys, you go through, and I know how dedicated you are. But at the same time, I know he didn't go to due diligence yet or on the market. You still guys still preparing. So how long it usually take on average to prepare the company to go on the market and go through the auction?
Yeah, sure. So depends on the complexity of the business. How many ASINs do you have? How many markets are you selling on? Do you have off Amazon sales, et cetera? So, more complex will take more time. We see usually around 3, 4 weeks, maybe 5 weeks if it's very complex. And that's when we come in with zero accounting. Like you said, somebody who doesn't have a P&L, we recreate everything from scratch and then we do the presentation. I know a lot of sellers think that's a really long time, even though these are businesses they've been working on for 4 or 5 years. We find that actually that work that we do up front ends up saving a ton of time when you do get into due diligence. And it also adds certainty to the deal and gives the buyers less reasons to renegotiate. So we do a lot of that hard work up front so that when you do go to market, that you're going to get a good deal and you're going to get a good deal that has a high certainty of closing.
Yeah, that sounds absolutely amazing. So what's the average multiple, and how the multiple be different by the category or wherever when you guys see the opportunity, when you see the clients go on the market?
Yeah, sure. So that's a great question. It's really dynamic. So they keep going up, which is good. When I was in 2019 buying businesses, it was 2 to 3x was common. If it was 3.5, it was a really good deal. We see deals, just the cash upfront portion, going from 4 to 7 pretty regularly. And these are for businesses that are growing, that are healthy, et cetera. We just actually launched a survey. We surveyed 42 aggregators and got their opinion on categories and all this type of stuff. Going to present a lot of that at the Rise conference next week in Austin. We noticed that some categories buyers really love, things like home, health, beauty, pet, baby. Those are ones that they really love, that give a really nice premium on multiples. And then there's others that they might not be interested in all, such as electronics. That's a really tough one in our industry. Fashion or apparel, very tough for a lot of reasons. And then there's other ones which maybe are a mixed bag, things like supplements. I've seen a lot of supplements deals happen. Some buyers won't touch them, some like them. So, I think the type of category that you're in can affect the multiple a lot. It's not the only thing, but a lot of people I talk to that are selling are then going and launching a new brand and they want to sell that one in 2 years. So I think understanding, hey, you're probably not going to change your category just before a sale, of course, but maybe for the next business you start, that might be something you want to take into consideration.
Wow, I like it. So, okay, let's say I'm ready, I'm a person who, let's say I'm making $50,000 a month profit, or whatever, less, let's say 10, let's go just for most common numbers. And then I'm coming to you, yeah? You guys organize everything for me. we sign the contract, correct?
Yeah.
So what's my responsibility in the contract? What should I do?
Sure.
Like, do I tie to the contract? So what's the basic stuff?
Yeah, the basics are you're going to provide all the information that we need in order to prepare the business for sale. So a lot of times people will give us access to their Seller Central, or we'll just tell them what reports we need. We're going to need other reports around, your COGS and your shipping, et cetera, that aren't in Seller Central. So that's the biggest thing. The other big thing, which, sellers kind of have a problem with, but we think is really important, is exclusivity. So we do have a 5-month exclusivity process when we it's a requirement when we bring a business to market. We think that's super important because, we need to make sure we work on commission. We need to make sure that we are representing you and also have the ability to close the deal. It also looks strange to buyers when they're getting approached by multiple people to sell one business. So we think coordination is super important. That's why we ask for an exclusivity period. Those are the two biggest things. And then of course there's the fee, but I'd say, first of all, you have to provide the information. You have to give us the exclusivity so that we can go out and do our work for you with confidence. And then of course there's the fee, and we only get paid when the seller gets paid. We only get paid on cash that's received. If there's any kind of earnout or performance payment, we get paid when they get paid. And that helps us motivate us to make sure that there's enough legal structures in place to optimize the probability of getting paid. But those are the main things. There's a lot of other legal stuff in there, but it's basically saying, hey, we're giving you permission to represent you.
Yeah, and so there's a zero upfront fees, or is there any?
Zero upfront fees. We're 100% performance based. We have that's part of the reason that we do a lot of qualification up front. Make sure, is this the good fit for us? We also advise a lot on timing. Sometimes it might be a really great business, but if you just had a huge suspension or you just had a huge drop in sales, that's probably not the best time to go to market. So we'll work with people in those situations longer term, saying, hey, how do you enhance the intrinsic value of the business prior to a sale? Things like intellectual property, business structure, tax, et cetera. So, that's part of the value add that we bring too. I mean, I think it's related to the fee is, we only get paid when you get paid, but at the same time, we don't rush through the process. We want to maximize that value at the end so that we make more as well.
Jake, another question for you, because look, it's not many people speak about this, but at the same time, when you sell your company, I'm an individual, like kind of self-employed person. Yes, I have employees. Let's say speaking about any Amazon sellers, so they work themselves on the computer, probably from home. They sell the company to some big aggregator, like with tons of processes and lawyers, So these guys, they are sharks in their business, so they know like every time they buy, you have to go through the due diligence or whatever it happened, So one of the worries for me always, let's say, sell my business. It's great when it's like all cash up front, which is rarely happen. But at the same time, I'm gonna get an earnout, or for any reason, like I always worry about legal part. For instance, let's assume someone selling on Amazon and they do rebates or they do reviews the way that Amazon doesn't like, so it's kind of a gray area of marketing, I would say. So, and maybe you're gonna disclose also this at the sales process, or if they don't ask. So the question is like, what may happen legally to the person, and how you guys help to protect me as a seller when I sell the business, and guys will not come back to me 2 years later saying, hey, you know what, you sell jobs because you're not manipulating the use anymore, or you're not sending add to carts or wherever they name it, but they come up with a variety of reasons. Can they buy business as it is? And then, or how the process works? Can you just clarify this question?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think that's super important. It's probably neglected by a lot of people. They just think, okay, you signed the agreement, I get paid, and that's it.
Yeah.
We have several lawyers on our team. Both of our co-founders, Michal and Yael, are both attorneys also. Yael has a law firm, Kabili & Co., that's been serving Amazon sellers for like 6 years. She's got a great reputation in the space. we act primarily as an M&A advisor, but we do bring that legal kind of lens to the deal. For example, I'll give you one quick example. If there are deferred payments, sometimes that might be in the form of a debt that is owed to the seller by the buyer. What we will sometimes do, this is something that we brought into the space, is we will put a lien on the trademark so that if the buyer doesn't pay, then the trademark reverts to the seller and then you just get the business back. Of course, you could always sue them if you didn't have that lien, but that's going to be much more complicated, costly, take a lot more time, et cetera. So we sometimes do that. It's something you have to negotiate because not every buyer is going to accept it, but we'll do stuff like that, putting the lien on there to help protect people because, going through a lawsuit, if it's $1 million deal and you have to spend 200 grand on a lawsuit to get the business back, that doesn't make any sense either. So we take stuff like that all throughout the process to make sure people are protected legally, to make sure not only you get paid, but that you're not going to be exposed or at risk down the line for something that wasn't taken care of during the sale. So I think that's something you can't really ignore when you're selling your business.
I think this is one of the biggest reasons I'm always thinking to go through the guys like you, because look, USA is a crazy country, and you cannot avoid. There's a people who works specifically to go after guys like me and other sellers who trying to find a way to reduce the payment after all, so. And you have to always keep in mind this process. There's a lot of legit companies, of course, but at the same time, we're talking about big numbers, like 5 million, 8 million, $10 million. Like they understand like everything. If everything that they legally can discover, they can come after you, and it's absolutely possible. For me, it's always nice because I know I can sleep better when I know there's a Fortunet covering my back, like with the 40 people, like who working hard to making sure, like I can exit and get my money pay faster, and pay in time.
Yeah, so, I appreciate that. I think more than anything, that's really like what we bring to the table. We have all these experts, we have these strategies, we have really advanced negotiation tactics, but we are there, our CEO is talking to clients every day when they're about to sell, because there's things that come up. We had one that just about to close and they got a warning from Amazon about their inserts. They had to take a bunch of inventory out of FBA. They had to take out the inserts. You know more about that than me probably, but that would have blown up any deal normally. But because we have Amazon sellers, experts, legal, et cetera, we were able to save the deal. We told the buyer, hey, this really isn't such a big deal. Here's the plan for solving it, et cetera. And then the deal's going through. So, we see that stuff all the time. We're there. We're kind of like a therapist in addition to a consultant.
Jake, I think the biggest challenge for anyone who going on the market or even thinking about selling a company, or who don't even think about selling a company, but sometimes they see and they hear people exit here and there. And I think one of the biggest challenges, it's a clarity of entire step-by-step process. And then I know you coming to our upcoming event, Rise, in just a few days in Thursday, we're going to start the event. It's going to be more than 50 high-level sellers in Austin, Texas, from November 4th till November 6th. We're going to have amazing presentations and value adds. We're going to speak a lot about how to build a brand and how to, there will be like some also hacks that I cannot disclose right now because it's a private mastermind. There will be no streaming or recording. So majority of the things will stay inside the group. And I know like more than 50% of the people who was at the previous events coming again. Some people, they cannot come because they was like from the different parts of the world, and COVID right now still active, and people like they kind of they haven't travel restrictions, same as your partner Baptista. He's stuck in Europe. He's supposed to come, and unfortunately I'm not gonna see him this event. So I know you bring a lot of structure, clarity, and some hacks that I ask you to brought to the Rise event, that you want to speak only to the closed audience, not on a webinar, So that's why I was trying to be as much transparent as we can on a public speaking, but at the same time, some information it's going to be available only to the Rise members and Rise attendees. So. Is there anything else, Jake, you want to add on top of the things that we shared? Because we're already like out of our 30 minutes.
Yeah, that was quick. that was quick. It's always fun with you, Dima. I'm super excited for Rise. The event the one in June was so much. It was both really fun and great people, and the content was just amazing. And it was so intimate. I go to so many events, and of course, yours is my favorite. So I'm super excited to be there next week. I'm excited to share more about what we do at Fortunet. I really believe in both Fortunet and how we can add value. I think these are some of them you can use to help your business regardless. So I'm the same way, like share education, share knowledge. If you don't decide to go with Fortunet, fine, but hopefully we can help you, through make the decision regardless. So yeah, I'm really excited to be there and talk more about it. I can do podcasts like this all day talking about it. If anybody, of course, wants to, speak with me or Fortunet, always happy to connect as well.
Jake, how guys can connect with you? Like how they reach out to you? Are they reach out to you, or what's the process of getting in touch with the company?
Yeah, they can visit fortunet.net. They can reach me at Jake@Fortunet. That's FORTUNET.net. Shoot us an email. Hit me up on Facebook, Jake Barnett. Yeah, feel free to reach out. Come to Rise and we can grab a beer there as well.
Yeah. Also, I know, guys, you convinced me, and I have to also provide with you together a promo code for the Rise event. If you guys want to go to Rise event, you still have a few days to book your tickets and go to the event. Right now, we still have some discounts for you. But on top of the discount that we have, if you go to rise-conference.com, the Fortunet provides you guys a $500 discount. Just use Fortunet 500 promo code. If you will forget the name of the promo code, always reach out to me and say, hey, I've been on a Fortunet webinar. I want to get my $500 bonus. And this is exactly what we're going to provide for you. We also have a quick question that I didn't see at the beginning. Tim Sanders asking, like, when you charge you guys fee for selling the inventory, are you also guys charging 10% on the inventory on hand? That what's the structure of the fees that you guys doing on a sell process?
Yeah, good question. So inventory is typically taken in addition to a valuation. So if you sell your business for $1 million and you have $100,000 in inventory, you get 1.1 million. It's at your landed COGS. We do not take a fee on that inventory. You're not making any money off of it. We're not making any money off of it. So we get paid when you get paid. If it's $1 million cash, we get paid on that. If it's 900K cash, 10% is an earnout. We only get paid when that gets paid. So yeah, inventory wouldn't be covered there.
Jake, I don't know, maybe because I just know you already for like so many months, and we see each other at almost every event. I think we saw each other more than 10 times in the last few months. Every time I see you at the event, I saw you in Kyiv, in New York, I saw you in Texas, I saw you, oh my God, I saw you everywhere. So I'm going to almost every event, you go to almost every event, with so much connected. And it feels like every time I see you, and every time when I think about your company, it feels like you guys like a family, So I can trust you. And thing is, like every time I'm going into any relationship or partnerships or wherever that involves the money and opportunities to work together, I always kind of afraid, because you want to trust people or not, or you have to be careful. With you guys, I always feel like it's completely honest work, and it feels like if I will hand off one of my projects to you, you guys will do this with kind of like, I don't need to think, okay, am I going to lose this 10%? I'm gonna make more money. I remember our first meeting when we did together in Las Vegas. You was explaining me how much, and look, the first meeting was like, okay, this guys is great, but I don't know them. But the more I start to learn more and more, and when I refer a few people to you and they call me back and say, guys, they're just absolutely fantastic. I like, hey, Fortunet is probably like one of the top companies that you can trust, like I know family, maybe it's not the best example, like it's still a business. Like you always have to like check everything yourself and go and see, maybe like ask other people around. But at the same time, like as my personal feeling, I love how I can like feel this energy that you guys building in the company with the Baptista and everything that guys you do.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. Feelings mutual. I love seeing you, and love what you do in your community. When we work with people, it's such a in-depth like process that really requires trust. Almost always when we're finished, selling a business, we turn out to be good friends with our clients. So, we're not just kind of a cold firm that just sells a business and done. We build a relationship. We're kind of in the trenches. We're based out of Tel Aviv. Half the team or so is Israeli, and we kind of bring this like a Navy SEAL type of mentality and approach. Really kind of precise, hardcore professionals. But at the end, we're all we go through this battle together with the seller, and we come out friends and we remain friends. I think that's really cool. I like making money, but I like making money with people that I enjoy spending time with, and we can have fun with, and we can build a relationship beyond just a sale.
Jake, let's look up. There's a couple cool questions that we have in the line, so I would like them to be answered in the next like couple of minutes. So
sure.
At least these guys who did ask questions, we help them right now on the live. So there's a Max Fedotov asking, like, is there any legal way to secure the seller if Amazon account after being sold, got suspended for the issues that was placed beforehand, before the sale happened? Like, for instance, like Amazon decide like that the way how you was acquiring reviews was not great, and right after you sold the business, 3 months later, they suspend you for review manipulation. This is just an example.
Yeah.
Don't get to the specifics of the situation. I'm just saying.
Yeah, definitely. So there's definitely protections that you have to put in place. Most of the time when you sell the business, the money's transferred, you're going to keep that money unless you did something fraudulent, unless you lied or committed a crime. And I don't know, a lot of this review manipulation might be against terms of service, but it's not against the law, right? But there are protections that you need to put in place. We also try to proactively address some of those issues. For example, we had a client that we're working with now that, had some very strong suspensions and warnings in their account. Super cool business, but it had some issues. So what we did is we went to an independent third-party, account health specialist, had them create a report detailing what the suspensions were, all of the issues, et cetera. And then we had them evaluate the risk going forward. So the buyer can't come back to try and take the money back because they're totally aware of all the issues. They can take the risk, on their own. So there's just one example there of how we approach some of those situations. But yeah, you need to have really strong agreement in place to make sure that they can't come back and try to get the money back. And also that you can make sure you get the earnouts or the performance payments if that's a part of your deal.
This part is the most scary shit I ever think. Here's the thing, like one thing, I sell the business, I get my $10 million, I'm enjoying buying Lamborghini and maybe something else, like a couple ice creams. And then someone contact me and saying, hey, you know what, you have to pay everything back, So just because there was some legal issues, and when you guys help me with the contract like that, and you guys proactively working and putting all this clarity into the process, then it feels much, much safer, because nowadays you don't know how Amazon will act in a year, or two, because earnouts can be as long as 3 years, correct?
Yeah, they could be long, and a lot of it's not even just the contract. It's like the letter of intent or LOI. What kind of language do you need there to make sure that you close the deal on terms that you want to? I talk to so many sellers and they say, "Hey, I got an LOI. The deal is done." The deal's not done at the LOI. The deal isn't totally done when you sign the asset purchase agreement. You need to have protections at every stage of the process, even before LOI. Some people just give all of their information, all permissions in Seller Central to a potential buyer. You're just giving away all your cards right off the bat. You need to keep some of your cards close to the chest, give them when it's necessary to help, boost the value. But yeah, you need to protect yourself at each stage of the process.
Jake, I have another question for you. So let's say I want to work with the Fortunet, and then let's say I schedule a call with you. When I'm signing the contract, like from the gate, like when is the like officially we're going into the partnerships that we stick, as you say, for the next 5 months until we sold, correct?
Yeah, sure. So we have some people that are just ready to go and we say, hey, let's do it. We usually want to do a review of the business before we formally engage. That typically involves looking at maybe your seller board or your seller legends, or maybe looking at your P&L if you have it. We do our own independent review, using our own tools and resources. So we usually want to do a review of the business to make sure it's good and that we can, it's in the right time and place to sell, good from an M&A perspective. But we have people who, we talk to once, they're ready to sign up. We have other people that I've known for 2 years that I'm always chatting with, and they say, hey, I'm not ready to sell yet, but let's keep in touch and let's keep the dialogue going. So it could be one call and maybe 2 calls is probably better. So we can review the business, we can discuss it, we can make sure we're aligned. If somebody comes to me and they have an amazing business, but they want to sell for a 20x multiple, I'll say, listen, we'll do our best to get you the highest multiple we can, but that's maybe not realistic. So we want to make sure that everybody's on the same page.
Jake, so what's your exact role in the company? Can people contact you directly when they want to go to learn more information about Fortunet, or they have to go through Fortunet.net website first, and then they will be assigned to someone else? Like
they can contact me directly. I work with clients like before engagement, all the way through the process. So, I'm there to hold hands. I'm there to, we have the team. So we have experts in every area that we need to, but I'm there throughout the process. People can reach out to me directly, check out the website as well, check out our team on LinkedIn.
So let's say, what's your direct contacts? Like how I can contact the direct?
Yeah. I can just chat it in, Jake@fortunet.net. Let me.
Aliyah, can you please put it in a stream chat, Jake@Fortunet?
Yeah, people feel free to. Yeah, people can always email me or hit me up on Facebook or Instagram or send me a WhatsApp. Or
Love it, Jake. Okay, guys. So as a final note, we have upcoming event in Austin, Texas. Will be a lot of high-level sellers. Lots of valuable information that will increase your profits and revenue. There will be guys like Jake and other guys who will help you to optimize your taxes and sell processes if you're ready for it. Even if not, you always will be learning a lot of marketing strategies. If you're thinking about learning more about our event, just go to rise-conference.com. And you can, if you decide to come, there's tickets right now. You can just check out. It's November 4th till 6th in Austin, Texas. And if you use the coupon that provided to us by Fortunet, it's Fortunet 500. You will get $500 off, which is absolutely a fantastic discount for you to come to the event and spend next 3 days with us and a lot of Amazon sellers that you will see in Austin. Guys,
I hope we're going to have some more karaoke like last time in Orlando. That was maybe my favorite part. Yeah, it's an amazing event. I think it's super pro crew. I look forward to seeing everyone there.
Okay, Jake, thank you so much for being with us on the call. See you around and see you in Austin.
Thanks,
everybody. Bye. Yeah.